If you feel like your energy is a little bit icky, this is going to be the video for you. We're going to talk about basic techniques that you can do throughout your day to cleanse and clear your energy. So if you are new here, welcome. My name is Lauren. I'm a psychic development coach. I like to teach people how to strengthen their intuition. And part of this is knowing how to cleanse and reset your energy. If you can't do that, then it becomes very difficult to receive clearer information. So shout out to one of my Patreon members for requesting this video. I was like, you know what, that's perfectly timed. This is being filmed in February 2025, and I have a feeling we're gonna need to use some of the practices in this video. So let's start with just like, what does it feel like to have unprotected, just like icky energy, and how would you know if you should even like do a cleansing practice? Because sometimes you're okay, sometimes you definitely need something more. I find that when you are feeling really stressed out in life, that's a good sign that your energy isn't clear. I also think that like when you're blocked, if you're trying to give someone a reading or just connect to your own intuition to get information for yourself, you just don't feel like you can get information to come through. Another good indication, especially for those of you who are mediums out there, you might feel like spirits are following you. You might feel like you did a reading and somebody's energy is just still stuck with you, whether it's your client. Sometimes we can be reading like heavier people, heavier like topics, and it just kind of like, ugh, it makes you feel gross for the rest of the day, you know? And this doesn't have to be like all psychic. You could have had like a real stressful event happen, like a life event that, you know, you're just like walking around feeling triggered all the time. Essentially, you just don't feel quite aligned. You don't feel clear. You don't feel like you could sit down and kind of trust your gut or trust your intuition. That's when you might need to kind of look at, okay, what can I do to kind of cleanse my energy, reset? Now, a lot of this can be energetic, but one point I do want to make is that this can sometimes be like your own normal day-to-day responsibilities. Like, are you taking care of yourself? Are you taking care of your mental, physical, emotional health? Like, yes, this is a lot spiritual, this video, but at the same time, if you're doing all of the like awful things to yourself, and you're only relying on doing like this spiritual cleansing and you're like, why isn't this working? It's probably because you need to also look at those other like mundane day-to-day things that you could be doing to clear your energy as well. So if you're like trying to do readings and you're feeling foggy or unclear or blocked, and yet you're still over here like staying up late, not eating good foods, not taking care of yourself, gluing yourself to social media, like interacting with negative people, if you continue to do that, the symptoms will continue to happen. So my point here is like, just know that if you are doing all of the spiritual things and not seeing progress, just know there could be other things going on that you can definitely address that do affect your psychic ability. But again, this is more of an energetic video. So when we approach like energetic boundaries, cleansing ourselves, and like removing blocks, I call this like, well, I just call it removing blocks to your psychic ability. A lot of people also call it shadow work. Essentially, you're going inwards, you're being introspective, you're identifying what you need to like cleanse and clear your field. You know, I always say like, think of your actual field like a bubble around you. That's your energy. Your energy is in this bubble, but you can let other things in this bubble, other people can put their stuff in your bubble, but it can always be cleaned out. Another good analogy is like thinking of it like a tube. You have a tube, and this is what connects you to like divine information and psychic sources. You know, this is that like tube that you send and receive psychic messages from. So, you know, on the other side of this tube, or like the other side of the telephone, if that's a better way to think of it, you're calling your spirit guides and you want to be able to hear. But if that tube is gunked up, if the tube is going haywire, because your energy is not clean and clear, then it makes it a lot harder to receive that information. You really want to get at the cause, not the symptom. We don't just want to put like a band-aid over the leak. We want to actually get in and like fix the leak, fix the problem. And so that's my whole video on like shadow work. That's how we get at like those tougher things that are like really blocking us and we can't get rid of. But let's just say we have icky energy, and this is like, the energy is already here, it's in our field, it's in our bubble, it's in our tube. We want to cleanse it, and we want to kind of like keep it cleansed. So let's get into the exercises here, because we've identified what's blocking us. We identified like the shadow work, whatever's been like driving us nuts, why we don't feel foggy, we don't feel clear. Maybe it's because we've been going to bed late, maybe because, you know, we've been allowing information from news, from social media, from other people, family in our lives, and we're just allowing it to come through. We've identified the problem, we've got steps over there to work on it in a more, again, like mundane way, but now we're coming back to like our spiritual energetic fields, because I believe we can hold that stuff with us a little bit, and sometimes we like don't realize that we're still holding on to things energetically, which is why it's always good to just like reset. And with each of these techniques, it's not just going through the motions, it's not just doing the thing mundanely, it's setting an active intention at the same time. Like, as I'm doing this exercise, as I'm doing this thing, I am like releasing the negative energy. So make sure you're applying that to everything I talk about here. The first exercise you can do any day to kind of cleanse your energy, journal. Journal, writing, speaking, anything like this where you can talk to maybe your therapist if you have a therapy appointment that day, or you can talk to like somebody you can trust, or at the very least, you can get out a journal and just write down, like, what's weighing you down? What am I holding on to that's negative? How can I release it onto the paper? How can I release it outside of me with these words? I would just obviously caution, like, don't trauma dump on other people. Don't make it somebody else's problem, in the sense of like, don't let it become like a reoccurring thing. Be cognizant of like, if you're doing that with other people, like you can even automatic write out like, I'm releasing this. And as you're automatic writing, you might find that you're releasing things you didn't even know were kind of in your energy. I think when you can get your emotions out, like even recording yourself on your phone, talking out a problem out loud, videotaping yourself, Can you see how old I am? When I started learning filmmaking, we had to like use the little DV tapes. We have a box. Actually, I think it's right above me. So all of our old DV tapes. So yeah, talking, speaking, writing. There's a lot of cool apps out there that kind of help you process. Sometimes some people find emotional release in that way, and it can be super helpful. One of my favorite ways to actually like release negative energy is using music, using sound. I think that's because I'm more clairaudient. I just really resonate with like auditory stuff. But like sound bath meditations, or meditations where it's just music, or guided meditations to release negative energy. I have a couple. I would also like categorize shamanic journeying in this as well, where you're like actively going through a journey to basically like release any sort of unwanted negative energy. But again, you're doing this very intentionally, like you're visualizing, or maybe if you're not like a very visual person, you are hearing, you know, the negativity leave you. You are feeling the negativity leave you. You are grounding it into the earth as you do this. You know, the intention is the point. So one of my favorite ways that I always started, I used chakra cleansing meditations. You can find all sorts of them on YouTube that just go through each one of your chakras, and you pay attention to the guided meditation, and it clears and cleanses your chakras. Now, some of this might not feel like it worked for you, and that's totally okay. Another thing I like to do, like especially if I feel like there's like a spirit in my like space, I like to fill the entire room with bright white light. So I'll turn on just some meditative music. I'll imagine like white light like on the floor, on all 4 of the walls, on the ceiling, and then I imagine the whole room just filling with that like bright white light. And then my body included. But again, I'm not just like, oh yeah, this wall, that wall, white, okay, I'm done. No, I'm like visually imagining everything getting pushed out of the room, everything getting pushed out of my bubble, out of my field, so that I'm clean and clear. You can also do like a full body breathing exercise where you're breathing like kind of from top to bottom. You're imagining like your head as its own like organ that breathes, and then like down to your torso, your arms, your legs. And like as you're intentionally focusing on all of these body parts, you're setting the intention that it's clean and clear. Like every breath in is cleansing, every breath out is releasing negativity. I really like that one as well. Another one I learned from the Aspen program was to like imagine a funnel like above your either your personal bubble or like your home or your space, your room that you're in. So like a literal funnel, and like imagine that it's a vacuum. sucking out all the negativity, all the negative energy. Like, honestly, I love, I'm jumping ahead here, but I love asking Archangel Michael to like jump in with like a big like Thor style hammer and like hitting any negative energy out of my space. It just like, for some reason, that extra oomph makes me feel like it's gonna work better. There's actually like a shamanic journey that's called like psychic dismemberment or like psychic surgery. I would not recommend doing that without like looking into it first. But it's literally asking like your guides to like dismember your physical body, not really, but like in a meditation, and then put it all back together. And that's like a way to just like, you're taking everything apart and putting it back together nice and clean and good. And so you could lead yourself on some form of that visualization if that helps. I hope you're kind of getting the like theme here. Like, we're doing anything that feels, looks, here's, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I'm trying to be more cognizant of not just saying visualization because I know not everyone can visualize. So just know that that's the point that I'm trying to make. But just, you want to do all of these things again with the intention of like, I'm clearing my energy. I mean, you can ask your guides to like help cleanse you in any way. Like if you need to visualize like a waterfall that cleanses your energy. Again, I have meditations that kind of lead you through this. If you just want to do a couple, you'll kind of get the gist of like, okay, what is it like to visualize, to imagine negative energy leaving my body? And speaking of your body, one of the best things we can do as well to get cleansed and clear again is to get back into our body. Sometimes I'll find like my energy is elsewhere, like it's with everyone else, it's doing everything else in the house, in the space that I'm in, and it's not actually with me. And so getting back in touch with our body, getting grounded in our body can actually like help us like reset. So literally just moving, exercise, yoga, like think of all of these things like Qigong, all of these things can help us get us back into our body. Dancing as well. I'm gonna lump tapping in here as well. If you know tapping and like all of the things that you're supposed to do, I don't know it all like totally myself, but tapping is a great way to also get back into your body. And you can say resetting statements as you're doing this. I'm clean and clear. My energy is with me. This is very similar in Reiki. Like we do the it's been a while since I looked at my Reiki notes, but like I know in Reiki you create like the diamond, and it's kind of like a way to like really pull out a lot of negative energy at once, and you kind of have to imagine like closing it when you're done again. If anyone out there is into Reiki, please remind me if there's a name for this. I just call it the diamond thing. So you can do this to yourself if you know Reiki. Back when I was like really into it, I would often like do that to myself during a meditation, and I would just kind of like focus, like if I felt like I was just too in my head and there was a lot of negative energy there, I'd kind of put it up there. And another huge piece of getting back into your body is nervous system regulation. And I literally probably could not have spoken to this years ago because I didn't realize what it was until I learned about it. And gosh, this has been such a game changer for me for getting cleansed and clear, is understanding that, you know, if your body is in fight or flight constantly, it's so much harder to connect. They're giving me full body chills right now. They're like, yes, yes. I feel like my guides do this when I'm talking sometimes. It's like, okay, cool. They approve of this message. So just know that like that's a whole thing in itself, and there's lots of cool people that talk to it. I'm gonna put somebody's Instagram that I love. I think her name is Amanda. She talks a lot about like nervous system regulation, but just know, again, you can be trying to cleanse your energy and doing all the things, but if your nervous system is just like firing off on all cylinders, it's going to be still very hard to feel centered and connected. Where are my words today? Oh, Mercury's coming up, isn't it? I apologize if this is a little more unhinged than normal. Some nervous system techniques though, cold therapy. They make these cool like roller things that you can put in the fridge. You can like roll it on your skin when you're feeling like anxious or like highly nervous. Again, I feel like this video is so properly timed, just knowing some of the astrology that's coming up for this year. And I feel like it's going to be really important that we take care of our nervous system. Cold therapy, progressive like muscle relaxation. So again, you could turn on some music and you like tense your muscles. Again, going from like the top of your head down to your feet. So tensing your like face, all your face muscles, then your neck, your shoulders, until you've gone through all of your body. It's like you kind of like hold that tenseness for like, I don't know, maybe 5-10 seconds, and then release it for 5-10 seconds. Do that like 2 or 3 times per like area until you've gotten through your whole entire body. Again, though, as you're doing this, you're setting the intention, you're releasing any negative energy. You know, you don't have to feel the negative energy. You don't have to like know exactly where it came from. You're just setting a pure intention. Like sometimes I feel icky and I'm like, anything that's negative, it's getting out of me right now. I'm grounding it into my bed. Like when I lay down, I'm pushing it down into Mother Earth. It's gone. 2 quick inhales and 1 long exhale. There's a ton of like breathing techniques that you can use. That's like great for, like, I know it's, nervous system and like somatic therapy, but at the same time, it's like, even if you don't feel like your nervous system is just like firing off, like you can still use these techniques easily to kind of get grounded, get centered, and get cleansed and reset again. Humming is actually a way that you can stimulate like your vagus nerve, which is associated with a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about. And so humming, singing, that's a great way to get back into your body as well. Another nervous system technique, give yourself a big hug, like a big bear hug, squeeze yourself. That ends up making you feel more safe and more relaxed. Also weighted blankets. Weighted blankets can really help you get reset back into your body because it's literally like pressing you down. Now, the next thing I would recommend is to get out in nature. I feel like nature has such a beautiful way of like helping us reset. And sometimes like we're too glued to our phones, too glued to work, being inside these buildings all the time. Like we need sunshine, we need vitamin D, we need the grass, we need earth on our feet to kind of feel restored and like reset. So going on a walk, talking to plants, talking to the nature, even if it's just in your head, talking to the wild animals, all of this can really help us get like cleansed and cleared. Like my husband always talks about how when he goes on a walk, like he can sort through his thoughts so much better. So I've heard so many people say the same of like running or exercising. It's really about like, how can I get in the zone so that I can feel like I can cleanse my energy a little bit better. Like when I'm really feeling very like buzzing with energy, like after lots and lots of readings, I really like to go outside and put my feet, like bare feet into the ground and imagine sending any negative energy down into the ground while also like pulling up stability and like, what is it that I pull up? Just like grounded, like Mother Earth energy, so that I can feel like I'm not wobbling around like this all the rest of the day. Now, I already mentioned this before, but you can find or ask one of your guides, like, hey, who's out there looking out for me that's going to help me to specifically cleanse? Like, identify who that guide is for you so that you can always call on them when you need to cleanse and clear. Like for some reason, for me, it's Michael. Michael, like, is the only angel I work with. And I think that's just because from day one, like when I was really freaked out by my abilities and seeing things and it was scary, like he just made me feel comfortable. And so he's like my go-to. And he always comes in to help me like clean out my energy when I need it. So if you aren't sure who this is for you, you can ask. You can also just go search, guides that are really good for cleansing or clearing or getting grounded again, and then just invite them. Invite them to work with you. Say, hey, I want to work with you. I want your help to cleanse my energy. Please, like, do that. You can absolutely use like physical items as well to help you feel cleansed and cleared. I find that that's like the gateway that a lot of people like come to when they're learning about their psychic abilities. But just know, like, if you're holding a crystal or carrying it around with you and it just does not work, it's about that intention. It's how you use it. Just having it on your person doesn't always necessarily mean that it's going to work. But it can, absolutely. It's again, that intention of like, I'm carrying this black tourmaline with me, and every time I think about it, touch it, play with it, it can help me meditate with it as well. Like, it'll help me get rid of all this negative energy. It'll protect any negative energy from coming into my home. You're also welcome to use jewelry. This is like one that I like to use. And I like literally, I even set the intention today, like I'm gonna wear this to ward off any negative trolls, negative energy, because they've just been like affecting me more than normal lately. So again, it's the intention. This is a little bit more about like boundaries and protection, but you can always grab some crystals, throw them in your purse, and again, set the intention that you're clean and clear every time that you have these on you. Sage is another popular one. Again, I would always encourage you to make sure you're buying it from indigenous people, and it's not anything that's like off limits. Like I think white sage we don't like to use without permission, but there's all different kinds of other types of sage, other types of herbs that you can burn. I have like a spray one as well because I find that like the smoke just really irritates me and my animals. So that's a beautiful way. You can walk around your space or like literally just spray it or like light the stick and like walk around yourself like you would like you're putting perfume on. I personally like to use oils more. I find that like, again, I just associate eucalyptus with cleansing. And so like I will put eucalyptus oil in my like little diffuser and just kind of like smell it in. And as I'm smelling it, I'm setting the intention that I'm cleansed, I'm clear. As I'm smelling this oil, it's getting rid of anything in this room that's negative, anything in my physical body that's negative. So oil is another way to do that. I want to say like Florida water is another popular one right now. Again, like every couple of years, there's something new. There's something new. Florida water wasn't really, I mean, maybe it was around, you know, maybe it was, and I just didn't know what it was. I don't know. But anyways, is it called Florida? Now I need to make sure I'm right. Is it from Florida? Is Florida water from Florida?
Actually, no. Florida water is a type of cologne that originated in the 19th century. It's named after the Fountain of Youth, which is said to be in Florida, but the water itself isn't from there. It's a mixture of alcohol, water, and essential oils like citrus and lavender. It's used for spiritual cleansing and as a cologne.
So yeah, I guess Florida water. Florida water literally combines like those essential oils. Sounds like it makes you smell good too, and you can absolutely use that if you feel like it helps. And the last way you can cleanse yourself, like this group of things, I'm calling it like ritual, like very intentional ritual. And this can look so varied. It can be whatever really resonates with you. I really like using the shower. I like to intentionally shower. Like I'm imagining the water literally cleansing off the energy from my clients for the day. If I feel like there's a spirit still bugging me, it's like, nope, I'm cleansing my energy so none of that sticks to me. You can also have like intentional eating, that the foods you put into your body also cleanse you and clear you, like energetically. There's definitely food that can cleanse and clear in a different way, but also like thinking about it like intentionally. Like I'm drinking this tea today and this tea is like my cleansing tea. It's going to help me feel more aligned, less blocked. You could literally go to the store and find like a certain set of chimes, like outdoor wind chimes, or like where's my, oh, it broke. Damn it. I just remembered I bought this beautiful Japanese wind chime in Japan, and it broke and shattered and I'm so sad, but it's like I could use that as a way to cleanse my energy. Like every time you hit it, you know, this is something that cleanses you and energizes you. I would say like keep it separate from like your outdoor actual chime, like keep it indoors and like hit the chime as you are like, wait, I have some right here. I mean, these are technically like witches' bells so that you put them on like your door. So if anyone were to walk into your door, like you would hear. So it's like protection. But I did this for my New Year's. Like every time that I came in to do just a little bit of like candle work for the new year, I would ring this before and I would ring it after. Isn't it cute? One thing that Karen, my mentor, always like recommended too is like if you had a rocking chair or like something equivalent, like, you know, one of those like patio chairs that like hang from the ceiling, like you can set an intention that as you rock, you know, you are releasing negative energy. Like it literally can be just whatever. Like one of the ways I've been grounding a lot lately too is like coloring. I really like pulling out like adult coloring books and like as I'm drawing, I'm visualizing like getting my energy out through my hands, through the color and onto the paper, and I'm leaving it there. Cord cutting is another great way to cleanse your energy. You probably have seen most people like use actual like candles with cords attached to them and they light them, but you can also like visualize cord cutting. going through like a visual meditation of like, I feel a cord attached to this person, this energy, this event in my life. It doesn't always have to be like a person. And I'm going to imagine severing that cord gently, kindly, sending it back to the other source with love, sending it back to me with love, or not sending it back, but like withdrawing my energy back with love. You can literally cut cords. It's just cords of energy. It's like, think of it as connections between you and something that's negative. You can like cut cords anytime. Like if somebody like literally even like flips you off on the road and you're still thinking about it 5 minutes later, you can just like quickly identify where's that cord in me that's still attached to that thing back there. Imagine cutting it, cleansing it, and being like, nope. Just like a quick little mental intention. Like it doesn't have to be like a 20-minute thing. And it could be something that you do like easily throughout your day. Another thing you can use is dream work as well. Use your dreams, set the intention in your dream journal right before you go to bed. Like tonight I'm going to cleanse my energy in my dreams. And then just see what your dreams are about. See if you wake up feeling a little bit better. And so after you've done these techniques, you're cleansed. In theory, you're cleansed. Just know that it's not going to last forever. Like there's nothing wrong with you if it gets dirty again. That's normal. It's life. That's what happens. But now you're cleansed, and we want to think of this like an open wound. Like we got a cut, we cleaned it out, but now we need to protect it, right? We need to make sure that we don't just like jump into the same energy. We want to protect ourselves, put a band-aid on that wound, and now we can move forward feeling like, okay, now it's not going to come in as easily as it did last time. I think one of the easiest ways to think about this is like, again, we're cleansing the bubble first. Anything inside our bubble, our aura, our field, now it's clean, but now we need to protect the outside. Like imagine, you can literally just do a visualization of like my bubble, the outside of it is now made of bricks, or maybe it's not made of bricks, but it's really like tough, and I imagine things bouncing off of it. Like the intention is there that nothing can like come in and get into your field. You can also put one hand on your solar plexus and one hand kind of like on your stomach and say, my energy is with me, your energy is with you. This is where I just push you to go over to my boundary video with all the exercises for setting boundaries. That's what you would do next. So you've cleansed it. Now you're putting a band-aid on it by making sure, okay, what's allowed in and what is not allowed in anymore. So I'm going to challenge you by picking 2 of these techniques. I want you to pick out 2 techniques from this video, put it down in the comments, and have it kind of saved and remembered for the next time you need to get cleansed and cleared. Learn how to do it, practice it now, put it in your phone, put it on a sticky note so that you won't forget the next time that it comes up that you need it. Because again, I feel like we're really gonna need it this year specifically, and if you wanna know why, I will just point you to my podcast of the 2025 astrology. So let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to leave comments below. Comments actually super help my channel. It's like an easy, free way that you can support me. It just basically tells YouTube that you like this video, you're engaging with it. So even if you leave me an emoji, like a crystal emoji, that would be awesome. And if you're struggling with setting those boundaries, know that you can book a private coaching session with me at any time. But other than that, you guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.